And a 3, and 2, and 1. We're live. It is Thursday morning. Sam and Zivko in the house. Yes. Let's start with you, Zivko. How's it going?
I had a look at the pull request, and I had a good question about it. And I reached to Yana, and we'll be pairing either today or tomorrow.
Okay. Right. I guess. So did you reached out to? I guess we got an echo. Do you have headphones, by the way?
No, I don't.
You should. Don't worry. We can probably manage it on this. Oh, you do. Oh, right. I was thinking.
So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. No. Cool. I guess you. So you reached out to Yana, I guess, individually on Slack rather than through the group chat. I don't know. Can you hear me? Hello. I guess you can't hear me now.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Okay, yes. I was just saying, yeah. So I guess you reached out to Yana individually rather than through the group chat.
Oh yes, all right.
which is no problem. I guess the yeah, and that's great. I guess I'm always encouraging people to sort of do it in the group chat, because then I don't know. I mean, I start to. I'm kind of for this, like, doing everything in the open thing. But I start to wonder if that's actually, counterproductive. I always imagine that, if people are having that conversation in the group chat, then that helps other people know what's happening and so on. But I guess people's tendency is to kind of like, well, I don't want to bother everybody else with this. But anyway, keep doing exactly what you prefer to do. But just what I would say is that, it's never any bother for me, and I think for other people in the team, if you're just organizing those things through the local support. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being silly.
No, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it. Basically, I reached to people who I know.
Sure, that's right.
And she also invited me go to her place today.
Okay.
And pair there.
Cool.
But yeah, you're right. It should have been through.
Yeah, I think there's something to consider. I think in every situation, what you've got to do is what is natural for you. You don't want to push yourself too far out of the comfort zone. Something to consider. Certainly not a requirement. But just cool. Well, that's great. Updates from me then. Yeah. So didn't do anything on local support yesterday. MOOCs. What have I got done? I've got some of the Spocks created for the instructors around the world for the MOOC. Yeah, it looks like there might be some money for working on the Autograders project. Yeah, which is an interesting development there. No local support client meeting today. Did I get a follow up from the client about? Let's have a look. Yeah, not anyway. So I think that's pushed off till next week. Yeah, and maybe another Autograders meeting on Friday. So yeah, that's my little bits and pieces. I mean, I guess I just mentioned it. I mean, it looks like I might have some money for doing some work on this Autograders project. I guess, is that something that you might be interested in?
Yeah. What is it about?
Well, the Autograders is a Ruby project that runs to grade students' homework for the massively online open class. And there might be a little bit of money for doing some work on that. I mean, I'm hesitant partly because you're all sort of getting yourself comfortable and stable with local support, and there might be some money for that a bit further down the line as well. But anyway, I guess on another occasion we can maybe talk more about it. Probably what we should do now. You said you had a question about the pull request. Let's focus on your things or anything that's blocking you, and we can chat about that another time.
Yeah. Well, I'm flexible to try it.
Yeah. I mean, what I'll probably do is on another session, maybe when we've got more people and I've also got more details, I'll sort of explain more about what it is. Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah. So you had a question about
yeah. So basically, the email is rendered when you go to invite users.
Yes.
Through here.
Yes.
So basically, you suggested to replace the resource with this. With resource like this.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I'll just run it now. It will give an error because it is expecting a local variable here, and because we're not passing anything.
Okay, right, and I guess we can't change the. I guess okay, so I guess the nature of the form.
I've got.
Yeah. Yes, right. No, good point. I guess that relates to the way in which the mailer works. In that the mailers, rather than using, I'm just bringing up my own, like the mailer views. If we look at app views, like any of the mailers are all using, those, and that's something we can't change in the mailer. Okay, yeah. So I guess in that case, my suggestion is null and void, really. I think. I mean, if we go back to the ERB template for the other one, I mean, so I think the point is, in general, do you know what I mean? Like if we're passing in locals, we should be creating those things, locally. It's but I guess what we've got here is sort of a bit of a hack, and so okay. So I'd say let's leave it as it is, and I'll merge that in.
And just the thing that responds to raw invitation token, it needs to be a user, and that's why it needs to be user.new.
Sure.
Just want to highlight if you.
No. It being a user makes perfect sense. If you go back to this is a template, which
that's without users.
Here we go.
So if you go in the app views, organization.
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. If you go back to have you got the view up? I mean, in the browser, running in the browser.
Do you want me to refresh the working one?
There we go. No. Okay. And so at the moment, right, so we've got those links in there that I mean, if you mouse over that accept invitation link, it
wouldn't do anything, I think.
No. Yeah, I'm just
invitation token is valid.
Which is the correct thing that it should say, because we haven't given it the I just want to make sure it didn't break anything. Okay. Yeah, well, that looks fine then. I mean, I guess that's all ready for being pulled in then. I was just
one more thing. I wasn't sure how to test this. Should I just test that it's rendered? It came to light that I haven't written any tests.
Okay. Yes, that's a good point that I also missed. Yes. Yeah. I think yes, that one could just have a quick test to check that not necessarily all, but some of the contents is there. Yes. Yeah. Well, why not add a quick acceptance test using Cucumber, and just like find the relevant thing and just add you can add a that would make it. I'll just add what I'll do here is share my screen.
Should I create a paragraph with ID, and I can just test that the ID is appearing, or should I just leave it as a?
I would be tempted in the acceptance test if we. So the thing to do is, before we make any changes there, is look for what's the relevant acceptance test at the moment for when we naturally go to that screen. And then I think like in the acceptance test, it probably makes well. I mean, we could look. I mean, I think one of the things is if you're looking for the things to have a certain sort of ID, and if that sort of bleeds into the acceptance test, it's kind of. I mean, you certainly could be creating an ID, and then that would be hidden in a kind of a Cucumber step, and you would be saying like the thing is visible. That might be the way to go, but I think that the what will guide you there is by looking at the actual Cucumber test. Do you know what I mean? And say, well, what sort of fits in there? I mean, I think that one might check for the text. The following email will be sent when as user invited, and then check for the presence and thing. It's not a big deal either way. I would follow your instincts.
Okay, I was just wondering what's better to do. Is it to look for the test, because this might potentially
Well,
change?
it might change. I mean, it's sort of a conundrum, really, because yes, it might change. Also, if you put the a paragraph or some HTML element with an ID, that can be there, but then it might not have been populated with the correct things. Do you know what I mean? There's an extent to which it sort of takes a human eye to know, is this really the right thing in this context? So there's kind of, I would say almost there's kind of pros and cons to both, if you know what I mean. I mean, I think that in some ways, if we think about what happens if, the acceptance test, if it's linked to certain text appearing, if the contents of that text changes, and then that test breaks, at least it's fairly, it's like, okay, yeah, you can imagine debugging that in a fairly straightforward fashion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sort of, I'd almost like there kind of, and this is my personal, is I'd be tempted to wait until that happens before doing the additional work of saying, oh well, I'm getting bored of that test breaking, now let's put an ID in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But different people have different preferences on that. Like some people just like, oh yes, let's put an ID in there, and then we don't have to happen. But you can imagine how that's, I can imagine a situation where, the ID was in there, but actually the text that you wanted wasn't, and so the test becomes less. It becomes too flexible. Do you know what I mean? Almost.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it's a good thing to ponder the two alternatives. But yeah, if you can find the relevant acceptance tests and look at because in some ways there's also the trade-off with, can we want the acceptance test, the cucumber, to be readable and comprehensible and make sense to the kind of almost to the layperson or in natural language. So yeah, and I guess where you're checking for, like for example, the following email we sent when a user is invited, that's it's tying the acceptance test maybe slightly too tightly to the specific of how it's displayed. At the same time, that as a first pass, that text, it's sort of almost, rather than writing a kind of a cucumber step that says, and the preview will be displayed. I'm kind of convincing myself in both directions. I think it's not too much worry either way. I think as I've been just talking to you, I'm almost convincing myself that probably I just I mean, all right, I'll back up. Sorry, the path of least resistance, would be in that. I mean, can you quickly find the acceptance test, and then I can if you look in the.
Do you know? Let's see. What should I be searching
I should
for?
find it and try and point you to it. But so yeah, if we look in features, and then this is about. So this is like, well, it's going to be features admin, and it's like inviting users. I think. I think user reports invited users page. So yeah, so there's kind of like I'm on it's admin, it's features admin user reports invited users page dot feature.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a scenario there. It's like we've got just go back to the browser for a second. So this page that you're on here is it's organization reports without users, and this is the kind of the invite. Yeah, I think that's right. So we've got this. So what page is that we're on there? Is it's no, maybe it's with the actually. No, sorry, it's the without users feature. I'm sorry. Yeah, so you got organization reports without users. So we've got the. I guess almost here it makes most sense to have a separate scenario that's this. So we've got here we'd have a scenario, a preview of the invite email appears, and then we'd have given cookies are approved and I'm signed up as a super admin, and I visit invite users to become admin of organization page, then I should see, some text. So if we look at that thing you've got on between line 33 and 37.
Yeah, and can I refactor these three here?
Very possible.
They're the same for this one, this one. Is it possible to put it here as in the background?
Very, very possibly. Do watch out for, you know, what we've got some things in here that are, you know, they're, what's the word? They've got other ones where they're not signed in as a super admin. And what we don't have in Cucumber is we don't have this setup of doing contexts like we have in RSpec. So if you move something into the background step for the Cucumber, then it kind of becomes the background step for each one. And I don't know actually if there's some other Cucumber syntax that allows you to sort of separate it out. But really already, like, this as a Cucumber file has got kind of a bit too long, and maybe it needs splitting out into separate things. Or I mean, that's a separate debate. What I would say is, though, here, and this is an interesting point, is like you're often, as you're looking through things, you'll think, oh yes, here's a refactoring. What I would tend to do is, rather than starting on the refactoring and having the refactoring as part of the pull request, is, you know, given that you're working on this particular, you know, you're working on this other thing at the moment, is get the as a first pass, you get that single scenario in, and then do a separate pull request on the refactoring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. But so there, and you can sort of see there, as you know, it's if you look at so path of least resistance is, you know, we get that out again, and it's so scenario preview of email, and you know, you can put whatever text in there, and that gives you like a quick and dirty. And then we can see, right, maybe we should refactor this to be, you know, I should see the preview email, and then under the hood, it could be checking for the text explicitly. It could be checking for the ID, and then there's sort of sets of refactoring. But yeah, I would, again, it's sort of, it's so tempting to, it's like the thread that you pull off your shirt, and you pull and pull and pull, and suddenly the whole shirt's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like there's what's the level to stop at? And I think that the thing to draw it back to is, you know, we want to relatively quickly get something out to show the user to help us work out how much time it's worth investing in refactoring and dealing with things in this area. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Sorry, I was being.
Oh no. I wanted your opinion, and I like it when you brainstorm.
Oh, well, you're very kind. Yes, I'm working on being more brief or coming to the point more quickly. I appreciate your patience as I work on that. Okay, great. We'll have fun with Jana. You're actually meeting up with her today?
I haven't decided yet. She invited me to her place.
Yeah.
And I'm still thinking about it. I'll probably go and see her.
Yeah. Well, you know, have fun. Say hello from me, and maybe see you in the afternoon stand up.
We can possibly join, because she said around 1 o'clock, so we'll be up and running.
Okay, I'll be looking to look forward to see you then. All right, okay. Take care.
See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.